Sorry, the internet is running terrible this morning. So, there is no thumbnail. But the show must go on, so. I think it was Cheech and Chong or Barnum and Bailey, one of the others that said that. So, hope everybody's doing okay. I know a lot of folks are stuck with some bad weather this morning. Hopefully you're not one of them. Bring you guys over just a little bit over this way. There we go. Rick, what's going on? Scotty from H-Town. What's up, buddy? So, as I was putting today's recipe together and doing all the stuff for it, I've never made Alfredo before. Never. And what I realized as I was doing it this morning is that most of it's prep. The whole thing's prep. So why don't I just bring everybody in to do the prep? What's everybody doing here? Walk by Faith. Good morning. How are you? Ronald Coward, how are you? So yeah, I just thought we'd bring everybody in. I just finished doing the dough for the breadsticks. We're going to put them in the oven to proof. What I did was, to kind of set the proof time up a little bit, is I've mixed everything together, and I will show the recipe for the breadsticks, because we're doing Olive Garden breadsticks today, which is going to take about a half hour, 45 minutes for these to proof up. You guys can see them all in there. And I'm going to throw those into a preheated oven that I just turned on for about 2 minutes just to heat it up so that these double in size. It's not actually on, and I turned the light on. So we're going to let those kind of sit in there and marinate for the next 30 to 40 minutes. And I'll show you guys the recipe that I've got for all that as I hopefully can get connected to the interwebs here this morning. Because I couldn't, like I said, I couldn't do a thumbnail. Everything was double clicking and multi-clicking and this, that, and the other thing. So I'm doing a half amount of what I'm showing you guys here. That's why the dough looks so small. But we've got a cup of water, little plus, about 110 degrees to activate your yeast. Now with the yeast, we went really small with the yeast. We're only going to do a teaspoon and a half of yeast. Usually for a loaf of bread, you do about 2.5, 2.25, whatever's in those packets. I don't have packets, I just have big boxes of yeast. 2 tablespoons of sugar. I have half of that, all this stuff in there. 3 tablespoons of unsalted butter, 1 3/4 teaspoons of salt, and 3 1/4 cup of bread flour. Ronald, been pretty busy. Hope life finds you well. Yeah, man. It's everything's going great. It's been busy for me. It's the Minkster's birthday week here pretty soon, so we've been planning some birthday stuff and doing all that. So whatever. And then for the toppings, pretty easy. For the Olive Garden breadsticks, we're just going to melt up a little bit of butter. We're going to throw in a half teaspoon of salt and a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, and that's all we're going to do to it. Very thirsty this morning. Already had the coffee and everything else, but let's start getting some stuff. Oh, as I have to hit this. So what we're going to do is we're going to grate up just a little bit of Parmesan cheese. Yeah, it's not today, but it's coming up, and hopefully I haven't seen the Minkster since roughly since Labor Day. She's been working 7 days a week and getting ready for college, so she's been really busy. Is anybody getting hit with all this snow? We just started getting it. I woke up this morning about 7:30, 8 o'clock, and we were just starting to get, we had about 1 inch of snow when I woke up. So we'll see who has our notifications on and who doesn't. So we're going to use some dry aged Parmesan for the toppings. And we're gonna grind that up. I wish I had one of those really cool little, you know how like when you're at Olive Garden, I'm sure most people have been to Olive Garden for one thing or the next. Turn the timer on for 45 minutes. There we go. Wish I had one of those little hand grinders. Just covering the snow in Urbana. Urbana, Ohio. Harold Farmer. That's not very far from me. If it is, a little ways. But not too far. Yeah, oh cool, very cool. Yeah, so you're not very far from me whatsoever. Let me see here. Yeah, we woke up, I've got about, I don't know if you guys, you can't see with this angle, but I've got what roughly to say 3 inches on the patio table outside. So, not a ton, but we have some. It just depends on, that's kind of my real gauge, because I don't get a lot of wind right on the patio, which is kind of nice. Yeah, thanks Rick. Yeah, hit the like button if you're here this morning. But yeah, I thought actually we were supposed to get from what everybody was saying that it was supposed to show up yesterday. So I went out and did a little pre-White Death shopping, and then I went to bed probably about 11 or between 11 and 12, and we had a few flakes and that was it, and then I woke up to this. So kind of, the Beags didn't get the Sunday morning walk, but we'll let people shovel their sidewalks off, and instead of the morning, we'll do it this afternoon. 33 in room. Please show some love and like, yeah. But overall, I don't think it's going to be one of the things about this recipe that I kind of wanted to stay away from. I kind of wanted to do more of an authentic style Alfredo, and really it just depends on what part of Italy you watch them make the Alfredo in. Some folks put the butter directly on the plate, some do it in a pan. Some folks add cream, some folks don't. So I'm just gonna kind of go, how do I want to say? I think what I'm gonna do and stick with sort of something in the middle. Is the Bean gonna wear shoes again? Yeah, she'll probably have to wear shoes again today. She's not a big fan of her snowshoes, and I don't blame her. Because the thing about for those folks that don't know, the Beags is not a beagle. I just call her a beagle, kind of like Snoopy. Because she kind of looked like Snoopy when she was little. The beagle is actually a rat terrier, which is basically like having a honey badger as far as dogs go. So she has really teeny tiny feet for digging, but has humongous claws. She has she has talons. And so I don't think for her, and I don't cut them very short because they're all quick. So, hey Greg, what's going on, buddy? Was interested in cast iron cure. Yeah, we can plug a little cast iron cure this morning. I was actually, before the snow, I was supposed to go to the shop tonight and make some cast iron cure. I was going to make about 40 or 50 cans today, but I don't know if I'm going to. This depends. Depends on how this weather kind of plays out. Most of it, when it was hitting everywhere else, it was missing me. It was like kind of coming right up the Ohio Valley and then going right by me. We had a couple flakes about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and then that was it. Nothing. And it was we actually had really clear skies last night. At one point at about 11, I took, was Rockstar in here? Very cool. Yeah, we'll plug some cast iron cure here in a second. I think might be, I don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and shred quite a bit of this. So like I said, a lot of this recipe is prep. Oh no, I don't have any cast iron cure in here. I have my can, but I don't think you guys can really. This is the original cast iron cure can from like about 6-7 years ago. Oh, Rickster is the rock star. Gotcha, roger that. Yeah, that's the original can of cast iron cure. This is my cast iron seasoning and daily conditioner for after you use it. So you see that I use this can. East Coast is getting hammered. Yeah, that's what I've kind of watched. I didn't really get a chance to watch a lot of weather this morning. I was sort of getting stuff around for all this. But yeah, you can pick this up on eBay. I use eBay right now because it's the safest place for people to buy things. Really secure, and the shipping's free. So if you want to put a really nice seasoning on your cast iron and you don't want to use Crisco or mess around with oils that can go rancid, beeswax is definitely the way to go. There's avocado oil and grapeseed oil in mine. And we've got a new one coming out here directly. Here pretty soon, we've got a new one. As soon as my labels are back, we will be releasing another form of cast iron cure, which I'm pretty excited about, actually. Not in a good way? Yeah, right? Yeah. Yeah, I saw that New York is New York City is actually calling for the first snow emergency in like 10 years, a decade. Which is about right. I remember 2015 was really, really terrible. It was really bad. It was just frozen. It was just frozen for weeks on end. And it snowed constantly. That was the year I actually put a car in the ditch that year. Which is the only accident, well, one of 2 accidents I've ever had in my life. Let's see. Radagast, how are you this morning? Hey, I was going to ask you about, you were saying something about, there was 2 things I was going to ask you about actually. One was the thing about something about guitars. I couldn't find that comment again to see what it was referring to. And the other thing was about the use of milk instead of cream when you cook. That was the other thing. Let me see if I can find my scraper. Which I know I won't be able to find it because I'm looking for it. Oh, here it is. Up here where else it says. Of course I couldn't find it. It was put away. We'll scrape this into there. But yeah, you had something about what a guitar is called, and I couldn't find the comment again to go back to see what it was relevant to. And I know it was something about the guitar spatula or guitar spatula that I use. Bone, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. Yeah, milk breaks down and cook, cream only thickens. Yeah, cream's like what, a 36% fat content. Generally, that's why heavy cream's heavy cream, because it's controllable. And what I was saying is I use the top of I scrape off the stuff from the top of my milk, and that's what I use. Generally, it's a little more. It's like half, like 1 1/4 to 3/4 of instead of half and half, is what I was saying. That's all I was talking about. But yeah, and it'll kind of curdle up and whatever. So yeah. What's going on, Bone? Where are you in from today? And what's your weather like? Are you buried in the snow? As so many people seem to be right now. It's shredding up to be quite a bit of stuff. But like I said, we're just sort of getting, I'll pan out here to we're just kind of getting some flakes right now. It's pretty nice. It's actually, for snow, it's not too bad. So I do think I'll be able to go do my running around today that I was planning on doing today. Finish up this a little bit, then we'll cut up some mushrooms, and Because I'm going to add mushrooms to the Alfredo. I definitely dig on mushrooms in my Alfredo. Get that down there. Let's see, Subway should be open. Subway's always open until 8 o'clock. I don't know how late most Subways are open. I actually had Subway Friday night. Man, I don't have battery patience. I'll be using something electric on the cheese. Yeah. Let's see, yeah, but I had, and Subway, or Fridays is sort of the end of my diet for the week. What's going on, Rich? Choo choo. How are you, buddy? Friday at 5 o'clock is the end of my diet for the week. So I went to Subway on Friday because I didn't want to cook anything, and I had to go to the store. And I don't like to go to the store hungry. And so I went down and I got, what did I get? Oh, I got the Philly steak, 12-inch on white, heated up, which I usually don't do, but the Philly steaks I get heated up. And didn't really load it down, and then I got a 6-inch Subway Club loaded on white. And I thought, okay, I'm gonna have the 12-inch Philly steak for dinner, and then I'll save the other one for later on. Oh, yeah, Max. Oh, okay, I got it. And so I smashed that 12-inch sub in like seconds. And then I'm sitting there eyeballing the 6-inch sub. And I just ended up eating that too. I'm here, what's going on? What are you about to cook? I'm making steak Alfredo. Yeah, that's what we're having. So that looks like about a cup. I think I'm gonna grate up just a little bit more, and then we'll move on to something else. Move on to cutting up our mushrooms and all that, and we'll get the steak ready. Because we've got a little while on the bread. I thought I only needed one rise for the bread, but actually I need 2 for the breadsticks. I thought the breadsticks only needed 1, but they need 2, so I kind of screwed the pooch on that one. But we're hanging out till 1 o'clock, so we're aiming for a 1 o'clock lunch. So we should be cool on everything. And we've got to prep the meat yet, and we've got to figure out what we're going to use to cook everything in and all that kind of stuff. So it's just sort of a Sunday morning hang. Everybody's snowed in. Well, at least half the country. A good third of the country snowed in, so I'm not especially snowed in, but I'm not going anyplace. There we go. Voila. Okay, so that's done. That's over with. Cast iron cure. There we go, baby. Get you some. I think somebody else already uses that tagline. Move the guys down just a little bit. There we go. Then we're gonna I'll wrap this up, put this away. And I've got some pre-shredded. I've got some of the shaved Parmesan in a container in there as well. It came that way. I didn't shave it. It just came like that. So let me wrap this up with my nemesis, my lifelong nemesis of plastic. Oh, that's foil. I don't want foil. Plastic wrap. There we go. I got here late, so I'm kind of seeing what kind of cheese you have there. Parmesan, dry-ish Parmesan for this part. Yeah, I started a little bit early. I had it listed at 11:30, but when I posted on there like I said on the post, that I might be starting early. And when I started to do this morning, I started about 10 o'clock, 10:30, getting everything together. I'm like, this whole thing's prepped, so I might as well just go and do everything on here. Because the final thing is only going to take about 15 minutes. FAFO. I see that a lot on the news lately. A lot of FAFO. Boy, that's good. Oh man, every time I go to the refrigerator, I keep knocking this thing into this thing. So I get some mushrooms and we'll rinse these, throw those in the colander and rinse them off, because I do rinse the mushroom. I know some people, it's kind of a, not really a controversy, but some people rinse mushrooms and some people don't. I don't always rinse mine. But we're going to, I don't know, let's say about 6, 7 of those things. Put those back in the fridge. We'll wrap those up as well. Some plastic back on these things. Mushroom gate. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if folks know what mushrooms are grown in, but I definitely recommend rinsing them off really, really well. Cheese or a whole bowl of Colombian gold? You be the judge. Yeah, man, it could be anything in this kitchen. It could be, you never know what it could be. Actually, I was going to make portobello mushrooms on Saturday, and they were not good. Like, the mushrooms themselves were. If you ever open up your pack of mushrooms, portobello mushrooms, and they smell fishy, they are bad. So those are going back to the store today, later on this evening. I want to go back because I have to go back to the grocery tonight. I have a lot of running around to do this evening. Yeah, you be the judge, Andy. Andy Orts, how are you this morning? Where are you checking in from? And are you being affected by the this disastrous weather for the East Coast? What was it? I was kind of had the TV on in the other room and they were going through the numbers. And I don't know if it was 40-mile-an-hour winds or 40 inches of snow that everybody was supposed to get. But it didn't look good. Some people rinse with a soft brush. I just avoid at all costs. Yeah, I rinse them off, kind of just hand rinse them. That's what I'm going to do right now. I'm just going to rinse them. And you know what else I use to clean them if they're really nasty is what do you call it? The Lodge scrubber. I'll show you guys here in a second. I have one of these. I'm not going to use it because these things seem to be rinsing off pretty well, and all that. They seem to be rinsing pretty nicely. But I'll show you the scrubber that I'm talking about here in just a second. I just pulled one out of the dryer, out of the washing machine this morning. While I was doing a load of laundry, washing dish towel. I really need a housekeeper. I really need to get a housekeeper. That's for absolute certain. We got that. Okay, so we got our mushrooms rinsed off. I'll show you this thing that I'm talking about, because it's really, if you have cast iron, this is one of the best things. It also works great to clean your vegetables and all that. But one of these deals, got this really close. I think when I hit the, there we go. Yeah, when I hit the camera stand with the refrigerator. But one of these scrubbers for the Lodge scrubbers. Yo, you did get one of the skillets? And they work great for wiping mushrooms off. Work really well for that. And washing your vegetables. Not just cleaning cast iron. They do work great for cast iron. And they have knockoffs. You can find them on Amazon. There's a Scandinavian company that makes these as well. Sandra, how are you this morning? Where are you checking in from? And are you being affected by this massive East Coast nor'easter? That was something I was going to look up last night, because I don't even know what a nor'easter means. Like, I know it means bad weather, and I know it means snow. I don't know if that's the direction that it's coming in from. That's what makes it a nor'easter, or what it is. What's up, Fuzz? How are you? But yeah, I wasn't sure really what makes a nor'easter a nor'easter. And I was going to look that up last night, and I didn't. cut up some mushrooms for all this, and then we'll prep up our steak and get that together. I'm just using chuck roast. I wanted something that would kind of fry up pretty quick. That would fry really fast, and then be really tender. So I just went with a chuck roast. Plus, it gives me an excuse to bring out my my meat grinder attachment that I got from my KitchenAid and use it. It's a storm that comes from the, yeah, basically what I thought. It's just like the direction of it. Yeah. I just didn't know if there was more to it than that. Than the direction. Yeah, what's going on, Fuzz? Fuzz probably got some of that. Being up by Lake Erie, you probably got some of that. I saw it was like they showed in the like everybody was in the purple that was in the really affected areas, and they were, you know, mostly the East Coast, obviously, but then it was just that one spot, maybe around Warren, Ohio, that was really. They also showed up in that kind of purpley color, as far as like the weather warning. My weather radio has not went off to declare any kind of emergencies. I do know that. So we're in pretty good shape with all that stuff. This might actually be too many mushrooms, but I don't know if there is such a thing as too many mushrooms. There we go. Guys, over just a smidge to the that way. There we go. I can see more of what's going on. That should be a lot of mushrooms. I don't think we'll need all those, but better to have too many than not enough, right? There we go. We'll keep the half stems. Kind of keep them halved up. One is too many. You don't like mushrooms, Rick? Mushrooms aren't for everybody. Just the sexy people. I think that was a quote from Morris Day in the Time. Anybody remember Morris Day in the Time? I was a little kid when Morris Day at the Time were big. They're probably still touring. They're probably playing at a VFW near you right now. You can't have too many mushrooms. Yeah, I'm on the too many. I can't have too many mushroom team. Brett Wood Biking, what's going on? I hated mushrooms till 2 years ago. Palate shift. You know, I was like that with onions. I used to, when I was a kid growing up, onions would give me the worst headache I've ever had in my life. And then about, I don't know, sometime as an adult, I started eating them. And they never bothered me again. And I eat them all the time. I'm still not a big fan of, what do you call it? Red onions. Actually, when I was at Subway on Friday, they wanted to put mushrooms, or they wanted to put onions on my sub, and they only had red onions, and I went without instead of getting the onions on there. Because red onions, I don't know. There's something about them. I don't know what the deal is with that. Let's see. So we got our mushrooms prepped up, and we'll get the beef out here in a minute. I have 50 likes. I have hit the like button. Yeah, we did have. We had quite a few likes. Red, yeah, the red ones are really strong, and that's. I generally like Vidalia onions, and white onions. I do like white onions, and the yellow sweet onions. Those are pretty much my go-to. Pretty much my go-to on all that stuff. Let's see here. What are we gonna get out next? What are we gonna break out? Let's break out the beef. We'll get it dried up. We'll start drying the beef off. So let me get a rack out. And let's get a rack right there. As I go through the obligatory game of finding a cookie sheet. So there we go. There's that. And we'll get that beef out here, and get it onto the rack so we can dry it off. Because we're gonna do a quick sear on that. So we're gonna treat this bad boy right. And I meticulously picked a nice. Doesn't that look cartoony? Almost like like Bugs Bunny or something. One of the old Looney Tune steaks. Which I think those were actually. I think looking back, I think those were actually round steak instead of a chuck steak. But let's get somewhere around here. I have paper towels. Yeah, they're right here. Going to get going, left a like, have a good day. All right, thank you so much. Hopefully you're subscribed. I've not checked my list of subscribers in a while. But if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. I got some really good content coming out this week. This will be a good week for content. Let's just pat that real quick on that one side. And then pat it really nicely on the other side. We're going to dry this up really, really nicely. Women are still, and sure that's why most of the guys are on here. Yeah, church here is done, man. The Lutherans and the Methodists, they get in and get out. That's what we have mostly here. But you know, I was taking some country roads. I went antiquing yesterday. And I went on a search of some cast iron. I didn't really find anything that I necessarily wanted. There was a Wagner 1149, which I have like the 1148 reissue. But I did find an 1149 at a good price, but the surface is real pitty. But the 1149, if you guys don't know the difference in the long griddles. 1148 is a little bit, if I remember right, are a little 1148 is a little shorter. The 1149s are bigger, and the surface was really pitted up. So I left an offer at the desk on it because of the pitting. We're gonna put a little olive oil on here, and we're just gonna we're gonna oil the meat, all sexy like. And so I left an offer, and if the guy takes the offer, gives me a good counter offer, I'm going to go back and pick it up. Because I have to go back. I picked up a chair yesterday as well. So I've got to go back and, well, I didn't pick it up. I was deciding, and I decided to go ahead and get it. So I'm going to go back and pay for the chair one day this week. Call them today and have them hold it for me, and then I'll have another chair for in the living room or in the bedroom, one or the other. Can't decide which room I'm putting it in, but I really like the chair, and I really like that. And I don't really mind the pitting on that 1149 Wagner, because it wasn't too bad. And if you season your cast iron up right, pitting doesn't make any difference. And I've got a Lodge number 5 out there that I picked up a little while ago, and it is pitted really bad. And I'm going to do a video with that one just to show that you can use really pitted cast iron and it's going to be fine. A little more oil on there. only by Lodge. You know, for what I was looking at picking that Wagner up for, this is about as much as a Lodge. I try to get deals, man. I'm one of those guys. I'm a negotiator. So whenever I go to buy something, you better put your brass underwear on, because I'm going for less. Oh, I missed Rad's comment somehow or another. Must have been oiling the meat while I did that. So we're gonna get a little garlic salt on there. See, when on cast iron cooking, you used a rusty pitted skillet and fried a perfect egg on it. Proves the pitting's okay. Yeah, you can, you know, sometimes I don't let the condition of something really dictate whether I pick it up or not. You know? My grandma put red onions in salad shaved thin. Yeah, man, I cannot dig on the, I mean, I see why people like them. If you like a really strong onion, they'd definitely be in my wheelhouse. And maybe Rick can answer this, because Rick's in California, and he gets probably quite a bit of Southwest style cooking. But somebody was telling me the other day that you can't, when you use it for like, most of the time when you get like Southwestern dishes, they only use white onion. I didn't know if that was true, or if that was just, or if that is, the most Mexican style dishes are made with white onions. There we go. Pepper, garlic salt, or garlic. This is just garlic powder. I don't have garlic. I have garlic. Yes, very much. Okay, very cool. Because you can't always believe everything you hear on the interwebs. So we've got that. We're gonna let that sit and dry up for just about however long it takes. Actually, I mean, I'm not gonna worry about the time of that. It just has to dry up. And the reason you want to dry your steak up a little bit is so it doesn't smoke as much and it sears a little bit better. So you've got that going. Although I see a lot of red mixed in with pico salsa. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of this kind of stuff, this is why I go back and forth on the whole authentic thing, because I don't think that there is much authentic anything. You know what I mean? I don't think. Thanks, Archer. How are you this morning? Good to see you. I just don't buy into all that. I don't think there's a lot of, unless you're like in country, I don't think you're going to get a lot of authentic anything. And it's not even me being like cynical or jaded. That's just the true fact of the matter. I think one of the few places that you can get, like when you're in country, it's like Italy. You're not going to get the same thing in America that you're going to get in Italy, no matter who makes it. Unless they're actually getting, like, we have a bakery here, Taste of Europe, that I absolutely love. The best pastries I've ever had in my life. And she's Greek, and she gets all of her ingredients from Greece. That to me is authentic. But, the Asian restaurant here in the town next to me that I go, they get their stuff from the same place I go to the store. You know what I mean? So I don't think that, even though they barely speak English, they're, Chinese folk, but, if that makes it authentic, then I don't know. And I don't say that to be mean, I just say that to be, authentic. I guess is really what's going on. Hey, Mercy, what's going on? Good to see you. Let's see how our, we've had that in the, we've had this in the oven proofing here for a little bit. Let's take a quick look at this and see where we're at with everything. See if this is proofing up at all. Now this is really, yeah, we're doing pretty good with that. It's getting together, and it's warm. It's not hot. What I did was I turned the oven on to 200 for 5 minutes. Then I opened the door and sort of I'm just letting it sit in there, so it's sort of like a proofer. I don't have a proofer on my oven, and it's chilly in here, and I didn't want this to take all day long, so that's what we're up to. So we're gonna put that back in. It's got about another 7 minutes to go. What else was I was gonna do something else. No, roadkill is real. Yeah, it is very real. I'm trying to think what else we got going on. What are we gonna need? What are we gonna need? We are gonna have to process this. We are gonna have to cut this beef down here in a second. So let's get a cover for the cutting board. We're not gonna leave. We don't need to let that sit forever, but we are gonna chunk that up, and we will move our Parmesan away from the raw meat to get that together. You're going down a little too smooth for this time of the morning. Maybe one more. One more won't hurt. One more won't hurt. There we go. Yeah, really thirsty, really parched this morning. So we've got that going. Yeah, so let's get our meat cut up and all that. Or we could cut up our breadsticks. We could cut the breadsticks up and divide those and let them finish proofing again. I think we'll do that. I think we will do that. Kind of speed up the breadstick thing. So we'll divide those up and we'll get those onto some parchment and put those back into the oven and let those proof, because they're pretty close to being where we want them to be, and everything else is going to go by the wayside here in a second. Oh, that's very cool. Very cool, Greg. So yeah, it's only got a few more minutes, and we'll kind of do a second proof on these, and we'll get these down to get down. They're bubbly. I don't think they're going to get much more than that. These are really soft. I did throw, besides what I showed besides what I showed in there, in the ingredients, I also put about a tablespoon of oil into there. Where's my security detail? Where is she? She is wearing her shirt, so she's on duty. That dog is out like a light, and she has the couch completely torn apart. The couch is completely torn apart. And we already got our cutter. So let's divide this up into, see how much it weighs. Let's weigh this bad boy. We'll cut it up into some even pieces. But like I said, this is a half batch, so it will be, what I showed you guys makes about 10 to 12, supposedly. This weighs 14 ounces. Math on Sunday morning's never good. math in the morning has never been. Let's see. So, I probably leave that out, because we're going to cut these in about 3-ounce pieces. I don't know why I put that away. We cut these in 3-ounce chunks and roll them up. Is it just me, or is the kitchen reversed? No, it is just you. Wow. I'm on my game today. It's pretty close. No. At least on my monitor, there's 3. So that's 3 ounces there. pull that out. Knead that together. About to get rickrolled. Does anybody else besides me know what rickrolling is? About to get rickrolled. Rick obviously knows what it is to be rickrolled. I don't know if I could play. I don't know if I can play any. Rick, is it? What's the guy's name? Rick. What's his name? Normally I see the glass door to the left, to my left. Well, it goes out on the right. Today it's on. Yeah, so you're probably seeing it. If it's on the right, then it should be in the right place. That's where I left it. Anyway, I left it there. That's where it was put. Let's see. So that's about a little longer than that. A little more rolled out. Then we'll mix up the topping for that as well. There we go. What should I put these on? Let's get some parchment out. Find a place to put some parchment. Because I'm gonna make these. I'm just gonna put them on a long griddle. That's what I'm gonna make them on. I don't see a reason to. Let me move some of this stuff around just a little bit. Where are you from, mate? Finland? No, no. Where are you from, mate? I could guess of about 5 places. If you're ending it mate, you could be from about 5 different places. But I'd be, but Casper, where are you checking in from today? Okay, so that was my timer for the bread to be risen. Let's cut off another. That's about where I want it. Finland, where you got the long drink. Oh, we can get them here. We get long drink here, and they are delicious. You guys have never had long drink. When people come over that I don't want them to know that I'm having drinks, I just tell them it's sparkling water, and people buy it. They don't know what it is. So Finland in the house. Yeah. I just tell people it's sparkling water all the time. They're like, oh, okay. Cool. They never really think about it. They never say anything about it. I'm like, it's like a LaCroix. And it works, dude. It works it's not even like 60% of the time. It works 100% of the time. That works every single time. Nobody's ever questioned that. And I can have them any time of the day. But yeah, we can get them. You got to kind of look. But if you find the spot, you can get long drink here. And you can get them all the... They're kind of pricey for what they are. I'm not going to say what I paid to add some little bit of whatever to my my garage fridge. But I picked up 3 6-packs of it yesterday, and I got the Beagle Minister. The Beagle has no idea. Nervasa. Anybody speak Spanish? I don't. I'm speaking about enough to order a beer. I should at least know enough to say, hey, I need a lawyer. That should definitely be what I should know. Let's see. Oh, I hit that one right at 3, almost. We'll go a little bit more. I'm kind of taking forever with this. Sorry, guys. The Beegs is out, man. The Beegs is out like a light in the other room. She just sprawled out on the couch. She went out there, Spanish press 2. Yeah, right. Spanish is welcome, but they have that thing. If you have a phone, you can translate it. But yeah, the Beagle went out there and destroyed the couch, the sheet that I have over the couch. What am I making? Right now I'm making breadsticks, kind of Olive Garden style breadsticks. And then we're gonna make some beef Alfredo here pretty shortly. But like I was saying when I first came on today, when I started, I've never made homemade Alfredo, which is kind of like the premise of what I do on this channel for some reason. These are things I've never really made before. We're gonna make one fat one because this is 4 ounce. I have a 4 ounce piece left. We'll cut it in half. We'll cut it in half. And but once I started about 10:30 my time getting this together, and I realized that it's all prep. So I figured I'd just have everybody come on because I'm just prepping everything. So that was kind of the idea behind it, I guess. If there is an idea behind anything I do. There isn't really. It's more than just how to cook in cast iron is really the idea behind everything. And that you can make almost anything in it. The only thing we won't be doing in cast iron today is we will not be making our noodles in there. I borrowed Cynthia Wesley's Tefal saucepan for that again today. I don't think she's ever going to get it back. And she's not in here this morning anyway, so she doesn't know that we're talking about her. Because she is a church gal. And she is currently at church. So she has no idea that we're talking about her. There we go. Only going to be, I don't know. Let me see how. Well, I want them to be a minimum of 2. That's 2. That's 2 ounces there. So we wanted a minimum of 2, and we're going to let those hang out. And those will need about another 30 minutes, which will give us time to before we throw them in. Now the cook time on them is not very long. We're going to do them at 400 degrees for about 12 to 14 minutes to get them right, and then we're going to make up, and we can go ahead right now, and we're going to make our the topping to go on this. Other than the melted butter, I'm not going to melt the butter now, but we are going to make the topping for what goes on there, which is fairly easy. Which is just, let me see here. Let me get out my measuring spoons if I can find them. Which I don't think I can because I already used them once this morning. If not, I'm gonna eyeball it. But we're gonna put some butter on the oven to melt up and all that. So I want some salt. What did I do with my measuring cup? Oh, they're there. So for the topping of these, the ratio, we're going to do half a tablespoon. Val cooked some nice bacon this morning. Did she? Was she on this morning, or did you just happen to talk to her about what she was making this morning? So let's do a half teaspoon of salt. Let's get that. I don't have much. Ooh, I don't have much salt left. We're going to use sea salt for this. Normally I just use regular salt, but I'm feeling a little saucy today. Oh, she did short. Oh, I got you. Roger that. And then 1/4 of garlic powder. And that's going to be our topping for this, according to the interwebs. I don't know. And I don't know how correct this is, but I'm going to make that. There we go. It looks like a lot more of the garlic powder than it does of the other, but it's not. Val makes some good stuff, man. She's also at church this morning. But she does watch the replays, which is pretty cool. I do like that when people do that. So we'll just give that a little spin around and get that mixed together. And there's the topping, other than the melted butter. And you want to use, according to the inner tubes and the interwebs on the phone computers, it says to use unsalted butter, which I dig on unsalted butter, so, which makes sense with all that salt that's in there. But I'm actually going to throw just a little bit of Italian seasoning. Or wait, I've got some, sitting right here, I've got some oregano that I've needed to use up that's dehydrated from the garden. Had hanging on the wall. So let's sprinkle a little bit of that into there. Because once we throw the butter onto that, that's going to hydrate back up. So I throw that, it'll be fine. I am so ready for the garden. Again, I'm getting ready. I got underneath, where you see the cheese grater, underneath my table part of this, there's actually I have a bag of dirt sitting right underneath there, potting soil, because I'm about to start the garden this week. That's why I said there's going to be a lot of content this week. We're going to be starting the garden. We're going to be getting the tomatoes ready. We're getting the peppers ready. I'm going to do an experiment too to see if out of my dehydrated peppers and all that kind of stuff, if it will actually rehydrate and turn to seed. Because my peppers from 2 years ago, last time I dehydrated all my peppers, those were really, really good. So I'm hoping to use those pepper seeds again next year. So we'll get just a little bit of Italian seasoning in here. Not much, just a touch. I don't need much of that. Mostly just for looks, more than anything else. Okay. So that's rising. The topping's fairly done. Let's go ahead and process this meat down a little bit. And we're going to start cooking here directly. Like really soon. Really, really soon. This is about where we should be. Let's see, check comment section. Nothing up right now. How many folks are in here checking things out? I've got a few folks in here. Hopefully hitting the like button. Yes. Her full name with 874 after it. Nice channel. Yeah, very cool. Let me see, where are we at? That threw me off. That just totally threw me off. You threw numbers at me, Greg. It's too early for math. I don't math on Sundays at all. I try to never math on Sundays. Other things I will do on Sundays, but math is not one of them. Okay, let me get squared away here for a second. All right, where are we at here? Oh yeah, we're getting ready to process this beef. So let's set these off to the side a little bit to avoid contamination. Figure out a way to kind of cover these up while they're rising on the counter. There we go. Move that off to the side. I mean, it doesn't matter. I guess that matters. Going on over there. We'll just let them sit. I'm messing too much. No math on the weekends. Yeah, Sundays anyway. I mathed all day. It's tax season, so I mathed a lot yesterday, which was plenty enough. That was enough for me. So let's cut this meat up into our pieces. Now, should we do slices or should we do chunks? I mean, that's the big question. I'm thinking strips. So let's go down this nice part right here. Cut that off. Hopefully my knife is sort of sharp this morning. There we go. We'll do some chunks. I think about like that size. that size. There we go. Yeah, let's do strips. Let's do strips of this, because we don't want it to take very long. And I got, like I said, for the roast, for the chuck roast, I was kind of down for that because I want to use my grinder. Well, that knife is not sharp this morning. Let's see what we can do about that here in a second. But I don't want to go back now because I've already got it meated up. What part do I want? I want that centerpiece. So let's take the centerpiece out of there. Yeah, that's not... I'm going to get my slicing knife. Man, I don't know what I did to this. Let's get the slicer out. There we go. There we go. That's a lot better. I don't know what I did to that knife to make it so mad, but I did something to it. So we'll slice that down. There we go. We don't need a lot, because I'm only going to make about 2 servings of this. Trim this pieces off. And we'll use that for hamburger. Because man, I'll tell you what, if you don't have, take out the chuck eye and send it to me, there you go. Yeah, 100%. It's clear and sunny, 60 days, high 70, 80s next week. Oh, that's perfect weather. Perfect weather. Trim some of this stuff off of there. Oh, that's already trimmed off. Cut that off. No, we'll leave that. Do we really want it? No, we don't really want it. Because I've been using, that grinder that I got from my KitchenAid has been one of the most used things in the kitchen the past, I think I got it at the, right around the 1st of January, and I bet I've used it 5 times already. Take out the chuck eye. Let's see. Yeah. I'd say that's probably enough. That's probably enough for what we need to do today. There we go. All right, cool. All right, we're getting there, guys. We are about to, we're about to third base. We're just waiting on those to kind of, they got about another 15 minutes or so to get going. And the breadsticks. And then we're gonna start throwing this together. Let's see here. But that'll be plenty. Throw the rest of that into there. Pop that into the fridge. And hopefully not knock into the camera, as I do tend to do. There we go. I think I might turn the rest of that into hamburger, honestly. See if any of this needs to be trimmed down just a little more. Because that knife, man, my knife is... I have to break out the hone here in a minute. Once I get off the stream and run that through there real quick once I get it cleaned off. I think those would be okay. They smell great. I mean, this is... Oh my gosh, this smells really good. Not really, really good. Thanks for smashing the like. There you go. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. And we're gonna get out. We're gonna come over to this part of the kitchen and get some water into this pan here. Bring you guys over this way. If I can do it without knocking everything over. Which I don't know if I can do. There we go. Bring you guys over here. We'll start filling these with water and figure out what implement of destruction we're gonna use to cook in today. I wanted to use my pet today, but it needs a little washing. So that's off the table. And I'll show you guys the My Pet that I'm talking about. If you guys have ever, hit one if you guys have ever heard of My Pet cast iron. It's a Chicago brand of cast iron. It's Chicago. So there's our Cynthia Wesley pan that we're going to be using. Let's fill that up with some water because we're about to pasta. And we'll go about 2 right there. That should be about enough. Good. And I think we'll use, how about we use today, we'll go back and we'll jump over and we'll use the BSR chicken fryer. We'll do everything in that. That'll be cool. That'll be nice. So let's swap spots with this. Move that. I'll show you my dirty burners. And bring the BSR over. We'll put, I got one too many skillets here. There we go. One too many skillets going on right now. Don't need. So use the chicken fryer. We'll throw the boiling water on the back. We'll get our butter melter going here, right there. And that'll be heating up. Let's go ahead and start baking the oven. Let's get that to 425 for those things. Rad is good now. Okay. I had my back turned, sorry guys. So here we go. And we won't be using the dog food on the floor. If you probably can't see it, but she ate all there's like soft chewy pieces, and then there's kibble and her Purina One True Instinct, and she eats out all the little chewy pieces first. So we've got that, and our butter melting. Let's throw some butter in the back of that as well, so we can brush that on. And we'll get a brush out for in that butter melter. I think the Lodge butter melter might be one that I will put into the there's a fuzzer in there. Fuzzer you're in my butter melter. So we got that in there, and we'll be using this. And we'll come over here real quick, and I'll show you my Pet cast iron skillet while we're looking at things. Let's break that. Let's come back over to here. We got about 10 minutes or so, a little more than 10 minutes. So we'll break out the My Pet real quick, and I'll show you what I was going to use, but I did not, because it needs a little cleaning up. Move that back up. Just a pinch. But here's the lid. We have the beehive lid. Say that 5 times fast. It needs a little wiping off. It was just dusty. It needs a little wash. But I love these lids. These are awesome. And then we'll go to the actual skillet that I was going to use, but I'm not going to use it now. But we were going to use the My Pet. And I've used the skillet a few times, and I really like it. These kind of, they're in that realm of where they were sort of the getting to where cast iron was a lot sturdier. It wasn't as thin and light as it was, say, in the early 20th century. But these are great. This one is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, there's hardly a flaw on it, other than a little micro pitting from when I got it, and came that way. But yeah, My Pet, love these, and can't wait to get it. This needs washed out. I haven't used it in a long time, so I'm gonna wash it, give it a round of seasoning, and then we'll be making this a player here real quick. The one that's really, if you're out there and if you're a collector of vintage cast iron, the one that you really want to look for is the one, and don't pass it up, especially if it may seem expensive, but it has something about the octuplets, or the, when you have 4 twins, what is that one? Quadtuplets? Yeah, the quadtuplets. There's one that's labeled with the quadtuplets, and it gives their name, and those are really super valuable. I don't have any examples of them, but those are really, really high-end skillets, and that's kind of one of my bucket list skillets to own. So, as far as vintage goes, but we're going to start heating everything up, and we're going to start cooking here in just a few minutes. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys. I wanted to use that today, but it was really, I didn't realize how dusty it was on the top, on the lid, and I didn't want to, yeah, quintuplets, yeah, 100%. And they have a name. It was a certain one, and it was from like you can date it. It's one of the, my pet is one of those really strange, not strange in like odd way, but it's one of those kind of cast iron skillets that the company burnt down in Chicago. Like, it lost all of its records. So when people started, you know, kind of collecting cast iron and sort of kind of documenting cast iron, everything about the My Pet Foundry was lost. So what people really know is right around World War II, the company ended. But that's because of, I guess, from what I've read, it's because of the fire. And they just never rebuilt. And you can get them. I mean, they come in all kinds of sizes. You can get Dutch ovens. You can get long griddles. You can get all kinds of different stuff. But they're one of those foundries that people don't pay much attention to, which they should, because it's great cast iron. It really is. And you can pick up a My Pet anywhere from $50 to $200. They're, depending on the condition or, you know, the size and different things. They you know, they sometimes you can find them and they're really affordable. That one, I don't remember what I picked that one up for, and but it wasn't a ton. It wasn't a ton of money. And this is what we're going to be using today to do our breadsticks on. This is my Wapak block logo, and if you can see up here in the top, I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but it is ghost marked. If you can see there in the little piece right there where it says Erie. And this is probably 1903, 1905, 1910, somewhere. I think I dated it to 1905, 1903 or 1905, but don't quote me on that one, because I'd have to look at my book to see when I actually did that. But it's the number 8. It's no reinforcement. But, and I got this from our friend Artie Bliss. I got this at Cornbread Fest a few years back, and it was in really rough shape, but it cleaned up really nice, and it does have some obvious casting flaws to it. What is long drink? Long drink is vodka and grapefruit juice, essentially. Or when my mother is around, it's sparkling water. Calorie free. Diet water. So, if there is such a thing as diet water. So we're going to put this in, we're going to let that heat up along with the stove, because that's what we're going to be cooking everything on today. And yeah, that's what that is. But it is 0 sugar, 0 carbs, gluten free. If you worry about gluten free at all, which I don't. My personal physician will tell you that. I don't care about gluten. Okay, yeah, spiked fresca. Basically. William Parker, how are you this morning? Hope you're not being affected by today's weather. Let's throw a little extra garlic on this while we're just standing here. Doing absolutely nothing. And a little extra pepper. And a little extra pepper on there. Now these should be good and dried out. So they shouldn't smoke too bad. They should sear really nicely. We're just going to do like a couple minutes. And we're going to go ahead and make everything. We're going to kind of make everything all at one time. So hopefully that all works out. I'm going to start heating up I'm actually going to start heating up my skillet now and take the lid off. Because when you're working with cast iron, you always want to work with cast iron that is warm. You always want to heat it up first, and gradually, especially when you're working with vintage. That BSR is fairly thin, and it has no warp to it, and it sits super flat, which is hard to find. So I don't want to be the one that warps it out. Okay, so we're just about ready to go. We got about 5 minutes until we can pop in the, let's go ahead and start. We're going to get our pasta water started to bubble up, open up our pasta. And I had to go to a big box store on Friday for groceries, so I couldn't find a really good pasta. So I'm just using some basic Barilla fettuccine, and we're going to go from there. And that's how we're going to do it today. All right, so let me see. We've got our meat, we've got our Parmesan, we've got our mushrooms, we've got all of our stuff. We are just about ready to cook. As far as I know, we're just going to start letting everything heat up. And once everything's heated up and ready to go, we've got about 6 minutes on our breadsticks. That'll be 30 minutes for them. They've been sitting over here doing their thing, rising up straight to the top. What is that song? That's a song. Oh, Eye of the Tiger. It's Eye of the Tiger. But anyway, let's see. Check comment section here and see what's going on, if anything. And not right now. Everybody's a little quiet in the comment section. It's kind of unusual. Let's see. Just had linguine Alfredo last night. Perfectly steamed broccoli and meatballs. Yeah. Broccoli is one of those things, and I thought about that when I was at the store to throw in just a little bit of broccoli into this, and all the broccoli looked like absolutely terrible. So I didn't mess with it. So I do like broccoli and Alfredo. And we're gonna add just a little bit of cream to this, but not much. Just a touch to kind of give it a little more color. But we're not gonna do it. We're gonna do fairly Italian style. We're gonna go with a bunch of butter, a little bit of pasta water, Parmesan cheese. We're gonna throw all the meat in there with it, and that's where we're gonna be with it. So I'm gonna move this over here because we're gonna get started on some of this stuff. So I'm gonna cut the light off because I'm gonna cut that part off because once we get over here, I think it's gonna wash out some. If I put it where I'm gonna put it. There we go. So you guys can see what I'm up to over on this end. And then that'll give me a chance to break out my plate for the final deal. Oh yeah, that's heating up nicely. We can go up a little bit on this. Go up a little bit, not much, just some. And we'll get all of our stuff over there. Yeah, from scratch. I cheated to use Great Valve jar. You know, that's the thing, man. Like, I remember when the kids were little, they loved Alfredo, and we made it. We made chicken Alfredo all the time. And it was sort of which jarred one they liked best. And I think it was Prego was the one that we got all the time. That was our go-to jarred sauce was the Prego one, because I think the ragu one was kind of gross. I don't think they liked the ragu one. But I haven't made those. They were little. It's been decade ago. Prego was my go-to years ago too. Yeah, it's a good one. Prego's not bad. Prego, as far as like jarred sauce goes, Prego's actually really good. And I think I picked Prego because there wasn't anything really bad in it. You know, that's kind of what when I get pre-made food, I try to just kind of go with what the least of the evils, you know, with that kind of stuff. We got about 2 minutes and we're gonna stick the breadsticks in. Never could stand any ragu anything. Yeah, I don't really, ragu was one of those that stained everything. Like I can remember the kids, I remember I quit using it with the kids because it would stain their face. And I always thought that was really, really bizarre. Dig Woods, what's up? Gigi Woods, what's going on with you this morning? Good to see you. Good to see you. Where are you checking in from? Yeah, if anybody, so we're in a little bit of a lull. If everybody could take just a minute to hit the like and subscribe button, that would be fantastic. I do have a lot of good content coming up this week. I can't wait to do some of that. Some is the bigs, some is not the bigs, but it will all be really good. Oh, just down the road, Indianapolis, Indiana. Very cool. Very cool. But the folks in Indiana are going to be pretty surprised that they now have the Chicago Bears. That's what it's looking like. I'm not a big sports ball fan, but I did notice that this morning that looks like the Chicago Bears are moving to Indiana. That's kind of weird. But it is what it is. If you're a Bears fan, it's really weird. So let's give that a stir, get that butter going. And we got unsalted butter back here. That's what we're going to use to coat the done breadsticks before we put the topping on it. Yeah, it's not very far from me. Indianapolis is about maybe an hour, 15 minutes, I'd think, at the most. Maybe an hour and a half. Not too far. Yeah, you didn't know that the Bears might be moving to Indiana? Yeah. Let's see how that's heating up nice. We're just going to leave it right there until we start. I don't want to scorch the bottom of the pan, so we're just going to leave it right there at 3 until we're actually ready to use it. We're slowly but surely. I am going to add a little bit more water to the pasta, and I am going to get my wooden spoon ready for that. Wooden spoon on the top to do some. I guess it just happened. Like I just saw that Friday or yesterday. One or the other. Okay, so the breadsticks have had a half an hour to rise, and they have risen. So, what's my name? Honey J Badger is my official name. Let's see. Pasta loves plenty of water to cook in. Yeah, but we're not going to use a whole lot of pasta, to be honest, Rick. So it's not gonna. We're not gonna get too worried about that. Yeah, it's in the description of the channel. Yeah, it's the channel name is Cast Iron IRL, or in real life is what the abbreviation or the and in real life with Honey Badger. And I am Honey Badger. And my co-host, the Beegs, is in there sleeping on the couch. Doing absolutely nothing. She must be worn out from tearing up the couch, and she was on squirrel patrol. The squirrels were out doing their springtime thing this morning in the side yard, so she was pretty enamored with that. Pasta loves plenty of water. Yes, it does. Loves plenty of water. So that's heated up. That's ready to go. We're going to stick the, I'm going to go ahead and sneak those, turn that down to 400. There we go. 400 there. We're going to sneak the breadsticks into the oven for 10 to 12 minutes, because that's all the longer we're really going to need. So let me put the parchment paper on there. Because I didn't grease up the pan. I didn't think that it needed it. And we're going to throw the breadsticks in there. Because there's only about, what did we end up getting, 5 out of that? Yeah, we got 5 breadsticks out of that batch. Yeah, so I can fit those in there. Those are going, we're gonna cook, we're gonna bake those for, we're gonna go 12 minutes on there. And then we're gonna check them. 13, and we're gonna take this water up a notch to start doing that. We're gonna turn this up one notch. We're gonna throw in our olive, we're gonna throw in our mushrooms and our beef with some olive oil. There you go, and plenty of it. Get that moved around some. There we go. That should be, oh, I heard some ears flapping. That means the beagle's up. She smelled everything cooking, getting ready to cook. Ooh, that smells good. Smells really good. Okay, we're done with that. I'm gonna let that sear in there. Everything flat. Oops, somebody bought some cast iron cure. Thank you so much for that. There we go. All right, Gigi, we'll see you here in a minute. See you in a minute. We're gonna sear that up. There we go. Get a nice sear on those things. Just let those sit about 1 or 2 minutes on each side. And we're gonna pull them off. And we're gonna set them off to the side because we're gonna make the sauce in just a minute as well. And there we go. I hope Gigi will have to subscribe. That'd be cool. And let's get some. Try and get the silicone covered one so you don't scratch up your cast iron. Just a little FYI. Yeah, we're going. Is it coming up? Use a little. Let's take that heat up just a notch. Once we take that up a notch, see, they're still kind of. You know when your stuff is seared up right when it's released. I don't think that ever got hot enough to even start. So don't have this going too extremely hot. So we'll just let that hang out. We are still kind of waiting for our pasta to take off. But we're gonna sear these up. We're gonna do our mushrooms in the oil and a little bit of butter. I'm gonna add some butter to that, some unsalted butter. There we go. And since my stove kind of runs a little bit forward, we'll put that to the back. When you make cast iron, you have to mix things with the same smoke point. I take it to a general temperature because I don't want it to hit any of those things. As far as the oils go, everything. One of the reasons that I use avocado oil and grapeseed oil is number one, their properties. Avocado is a really good binder, so it binds things together. So it creates a really nice evenness. But I do not, when I make it, I do not go to that. I see, okay, I see what you're saying now. Yeah, similar smoke points. Yeah, definitely. But one of the things that it does is, with the cast iron cure, is that you can take it to a really, really high smoke point. You can take it to a really high temperature and get the same effect of a seasoning without hitting the lower smoke points like you do with Crisco or a singular oil by itself, if that makes any sense. So that way, when you use cast iron cure to use, and what I mean by cast iron cure is my cast iron seasoning right here. The reason that you're doing that is that you don't have to hit the smoke point to get the same effect as you would with other methods of hitting a smoke point and going past it to get all that smoke. It's actually almost a smoke-free seasoning. There we go, got that going, got that sear on that side. Oh, got a nice sear on that side. Got a nice sear on this side. Sear's going. So I don't know if that makes, if I set it to make where that makes sense. But what I actually do is you can get a really good seasoning without hitting those smoke points, and you get a smoke-free seasoning. Almost. It's just not like when you use Crisco or you use like a canola oil or something like that. A lot of times you have to take it to the smoke point and let it sit, and you get like a house full of smoke. When you use cast iron cure, you don't get a house full of smoke. You get a little bit. It's almost like, it's not even as much as this if you're doing it correctly. And a lot of times, sometimes you have to kind of play with it, just a little bit to go with your stove. Like in my description of the product, I say about 450, but that's what it does in my stove. So 450 is a good temperature to season with cast iron cure, but you can go higher. Some people, there's some of my clients, they go 550 because they like that temperature to do stuff in, to do their the season. So if that makes any sense, then I like cast iron cure. I wouldn't roast it just like it. Yeah, I mean dude, I don't. A lot of people say, what, like I've used cast iron cure, like I've been using cast iron cure before it was cast iron cure. I didn't realize that other people didn't use that kind of thing. This is something I learned from like the old timers, like where I was from. They used to soak everything in beeswax to save their parts, like tractor parts and stuff like this. They would put it in hot wax and save their stuff to keep it from rusting. And I was in the beard business, and I'm a wax crafter by, like, literally that's one of the things I do. I'm a wax crafter. And initially, like 15 years ago, I started making candles, and then I found a barbershop book on how to make beard products from like the 50s. And so I started making my beard products out of beeswax, and I quit making candles completely. And let's take that down for the mushrooms. We don't need that high. We don't want a brown butter. Okay, so we've got our pasta ready to go in. And let's throw about 4 ounces of pasta in. That's all the pasta I'm going to need. Let's see. Let that kind of cool down just a little bit. Because we're going to do everything in that pan, and I don't want it to brown too much as I'm playing with the pasta here on the side. But yeah, that's how I picked it up. They used to use a lot of beeswax and wax, or paraffin to keep their equipment clean. And then ladies around where I lived would season their cast iron in beeswax, pure beeswax, with whatever oil that they had besides that. I think I'm going to go a little over that. But we're going to throw the pasta here and let that kind of get in there, do its thing. How long does this take? 10 minutes? 10 minutes, 10-12 minutes for fettuccine. Our breadsticks should be, our breadsticks are looking good. Looking very homemade, I will say that. So we'll get that in there. That'll go away here in just a second. Then we'll do our mushrooms, and we'll set those off to the side, and then we'll throw this all in together. But I didn't want that to brown too much because it'll brown the sauce. I don't want the sauce to brown. So there we go. But yeah, that was my idea behind it. What's the name of my beard product? My beard product is Seven Shamrocks Beard Company Beard Products, which I've taken down from eBay. Right now, they're currently not for sale, but once we go to Etsy here, which is going to be very, very quickly, the beard products will be for sale again. And I've been making the Seven Shamrocks beard products, beard balm and beard oil. When I come back, I'm going to go to beard butter as well. But we have beard balm, beard oil, and then once we come back, it'll be beard butter as well, which I like. I've been messing with beard butter for about a year, and I like it. I don't like it I still prefer the beard balm, but I'm a little bit old school. I like more, beard balm and beard butter is the same thing. It's just the amount of wax that's in it. I like a little more wax in my beard products because I like the set better. If that makes any sense. Okay, so we're gonna turn this back on because we're gonna get those mushrooms going. And I've got about, okay, I'll have to add another 10 minutes for that. Hey Badger, been a minute. I'm gonna keep it real now the party started. What's up? Remember Brill Cream? I do remember Brill Cream. And I'm still a fan of Clubman. Panad, Clubman. I still am a huge fan of Clubman. I like their products. They make a nice mustache wax. I've used that in the past. Yeah, they make a really nice product. It's really classic. I'm gonna keep it real. Hit that like button, girl. There you go. Let's see. We're gonna throw just a little bit more butter in there. We're gonna do these mushrooms, and then I'm gonna save the rest of this butter because I'm gonna throw that into to make the Alfredo sauce. We're gonna keep this real. I wouldn't say it authentic, but we're gonna keep it as close to how it's kind of done as much as possible. And I'm gonna throw, check and see how much. I think that's about enough mushroom, really. I don't want to over mushroom, but I don't want to under mushroom either. But I can always keep those. Already done, Badger. There she is. I knew I could count on you. I knew I could count on you. We're gonna saute these up. And let's see how how those breadsticks are doing. Because that's one thing about Olive Garden that I like. I'm not big on their salad. Their salad's pretty good. And that's one of the few Caesar dressings that I actually like, is at Olive Garden. But I am all about the breadsticks. And I think I'm going to go a little bit more oil in there as well. Normally I'm kind of sparse with oil, but I don't want I don't want to over brown this. And then we're sauteing it and all that good seasoning from the beef. That's going to be really nice. It's going to be super nice. Keep that going. Our pasta's doing really good. Can you guys see the pasta in the background? It's going really good back there. In our Cynthia Wesley pan, the tea fall. Keep these moving. Keep that moving. Get all those bits off the bottom. That means our rolls are should be about done. Or our breadsticks. Oh man, those look good. Those look really good. Let me get a trivet down so we can pop those over there. And we'll check those out. I get beeswax from a local beekeeper. Yeah, all my stuff, Radagast, all my beeswax comes from here locally. We have a lot of bees over here. And we're in a spray-free zone because it's Amish country, so there's no pesticides in any of the stuff that I use in my beard products. Or my cast iron cure. My cast iron cure is made in is from wax in a spray-free zone, so there is absolutely no chemicals in the beeswax. It is very clean wax. People that I get it from, there's several local places that I get it from. They do a great job of cleaning their wax, so there's no honey in it, there's no anything like that. All of a sudden we got a bunch of stuff going. There we go. Leave that in there. And we've got the heat turned off, but we don't want that to brown. So let's get our get an oven mitt going, and we're going to pour these onto pull these out. We're going to take a look at these. Oh man, those look great. Those look fantastic. As I thought they would. But I don't want to leave them on there very long. So I'm going to bring you guys back over to here. We're going to go to the serve up part for now, for just a second. And And I will plug the light back in. You guys can check these out. Put the light back on. Just give me a second for that. My cameraman's off today. So we're gonna put these onto a plate because I don't want to leave them on the, turn my oven off and my timer back on to 8 minutes. But yeah, these look good. I'm gonna put these over to here onto this plate because we're gonna do all of them right here on this. There we go. Those are looking really, really good. Yeah, personally, so picked up by the beagle. The Beaks does go to the bee farms occasionally, though. Honestly, she likes to go to the milk farm, where we go get her milk. She's a big fan of the milk farm. Move that back out of the way, and we're gonna butter these up. We're gonna, oh, forgot I left them over there. Okay. So we're gonna get these ready to go. Be nice if I had one of those little baskets, like they have at Olive Garden. That'd be sweet. Actually, I do. We will put them in one of those. I do have one. What am I thinking? So, butter these up. Oh man, these smell great. These smell so good. They don't look as good as Olive Garden, but they smell better. There we go. Let's drop those onto there. Oh man, that smells so good. So good. So then we'll grab a basket to toss those into. Over here. Pop these into there. There we go. There's that part. And I will leave the butter on there. There we go. So we've got, oh, let's top them. Let's top them with our seasoning. Salt and garlic powder. Get those looking good. Man, you may never have to go to Olive Garden again. There's one down on the bottom. We want to make sure it gets the love. Man, those look good. Look at that. Oh man, they're nice and brown. Oh, that's looking good. I cannot wait. Ooh, yeah. Maybe a little Parmesan in there. Just a little bit of Parm. Throw that onto there. I mean, we have all this. Look at that. I like it. Okay, so we've got that part. Then we're going to pop back over here because the pasta has about 4 minutes to go. And then we're going to throw that sauce in together. We'll bring you guys back. I might have to pop on one of those sticks, breadsticks here pretty quick. Let's see if we can get you guys over this way. I'm going to pop that light off again because it's going to wash you guys out. I'm afraid it's going to wash you guys out too much. All coming together now. Yeah, this is the part. There is a method to my madness. It's not always up front at first, but there is a way. We always get there at the end. So we got our pan, which is warm still, because cast iron stays warm forever. We got about 4 minutes to go on this pasta, if I'm right, which who knows? Who knows? It could be, could not be. And then we're going to plate this up. Hello, Katie. How are you this morning? Good to see you. Well, once the pasta's done, I was a little off on the pasta time. But if that's the worst thing that happens during this live stream, I think I will take it. Let me grab some more butter. I do need more butter. I'm gonna keep a butter stick in reserve just in case I need it. Let's get you guys a little better view. Sorry, I didn't realize where we were. There we go. Okay, so we're just waiting on the pasta right now. It's got about 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes, something like that, and then we're gonna have everything together. Check out the, ooh, that Parmesan. Check this out. Parmesan melted on there really, really nicely. Kind of digging that. Is it too dark now? Or is that the light okay? But yeah, these came out, man. I'm really into this. But I don't want to have one until I actually have the other stuff to go with it. Not quite. We're getting there. We are getting there. And then we're going to throw that together, our Alfredo, and there we're going to go. Just one more like the 50. Yeah, can we get to 50 today? That's always kind of the goal, is 50. I don't know why. It just seems to be the goal to hit is 50. If I was doing a makeup tutorial, we'd have been past 50 like an hour ago. But that's YouTube, man. What do you do? And putting on makeup is kind of one of those things, man. You got to know what you're doing. They actually offer free the dipping oil balsamic vinegar. Oh, I missed it. Let me see if I can, if it rolled back. Let's see. They actually have free dipping. I missed it here as well. I have balsamic vinegar, and all I'd have to do is do a reduction of the balsamic vinegar. But I don't know how long that takes. It would probably take about 10 minutes to do a reduction. Balsamic vinegar. Man, we do have the best. We do have the best audience on YouTube. I mean, I watch a lot of YouTube. I watch a lot of creators, and I definitely have the best that are out there. There's no two ways around it. And we're not going to drain the pasta. We're just going to take it from there to there. And we have about, let's check out how that, I don't think that's ready yet. And it's starting to want to boil over a little bit. We don't want that. We'll turn the heat down. We'll turn that heat down. Because it's starting to, electric stoves, man, you always got to mess with them. They're not cool like gas. Where you get like, you can see more of the gas flame. And you can see what you're working with. This is just red or not red. That's all you get with electric. It's just like, it's not bad, and I've had electric most of my life, but you're always just, you gotta just get used to it, I guess. 51, there you go. I've never been to Olive Garden. It's one of my daughter's favorites. Olive Garden's not bad. I don't know why it gets a bad rap. It's really, I like it. And I go to the one I go to when I'm in that neck of the woods. We don't have one around where I live now, but my kids love it too. And a lot of times when I go up to visit, that's where they want to go. And so a lot of times that's where we do go. And the one I go to is really nice. The waiters are great. It's really clean. The food's good. It's not over. I mean, for what you get, it's not priced bad. And that's where I got the idea for this, is that, this is what I get when I go to Olive Garden. I don't know if they have carbona at Olive Garden. I do like carbona a lot, which is fairly similar, I guess, in a way. Because when we were kids, my mom would make what she called poor man Alfredo, which is just noodles with butter and Parmesan cheese on it. She just didn't go the extra route and finish it up. That was the only difference in it, which is what we're going to do today. We're just going to finish it off. I'm going to grab one more drink out of the fridge, and we're going to let that kind of, hopefully that doesn't boil over while I'm not looking at it for a second. Because there's a lot of stirring going on here. A lot of stirring here in the background. Can you guys see that? You guys can't even see what I'm doing. I'm like all in the background. There you go. Sorry, guys. I'm like not paying attention. I'm like 51 likes. What's up? Welcome in, friend. Yeah, welcome. But yeah, we're rounding third and heading for home right now on this. According to the timer, it says that it's done, but I think we're really close. We'll be done by the time I get back with the drink. So that's what we'll be finished about that. Have a nice, what they used to call the 3-drink lunch. Just in time to not let that boil over. All right, we can turn that off. We can turn it off either way. Because I would say, I'm not going to sling that against my wall, but I'm going to say that's done. So we're going to start throwing this all together. So let's get some butter in there. We got about, just need to warm our butter up. We don't want to brown the butter. So we're going to get that in there and let that sort of reduce down. Yeah, that was sort of, I don't know. I grew up in the 70s and 80s, and that was pretty standard. Like the parm buttered noodles was kind of a standard deal. Everybody's mom sort of made it. It's kind of like peanut butter and jelly, you know what I mean? Sort of one of those. It was about that. Let's get this butter. The butter in the back is sort of melted. It's kind of browned up because the stove's getting hot, so we'll take that off. Because that's my exhaust burner in the back. And we're going to get that going around here. And I'm going to add a little bit more butter to this. It's going to be a little browner, but that's okay. We're not actually, it's just from the stuff that was in there. Because I'm not gonna do stew skillets just to not have it be a little brown. Because the butter's not really, it's not like brown butter. It's just what's left over from the inside of all the, we're kind of doing almost like a deglaze from the beef and the mushrooms. It's not browned up. Because that would change the flavor completely, and we don't want that. But I don't mind that it's a little brownish looking because of what was in it before, and I definitely don't mind because I don't want to dirty another pan. Let's just be real. Since I'm gonna keep it real's in here, we're gonna keep it real. So we're gonna do that. And as soon as we get this in there, we're gonna put the Parmesan cheese in, and we're gonna put everything else in. Back in here, we're gonna start putting this parm in here and getting that going. Let's start doing that. I don't know how much that is. I shredded about, I would say, a good 6 ounces of, like I said, this is not browned. It's not like the butter is brown. It's just from what's left over of everything else. So it's not going to be a classic white because I didn't want to use 2 skillets. But we're going to keep that going. Take that up just a little bit more. Kind of add a lot more pasta or a lot more Parmesan to this. We're going to keep a little for the top. And we're going to get that melding. And then we're going to start adding the pasta. And we're going to add everything else back in here. There we go. I don't think I'm going to add any cream to this either. So we're going to start bringing that in. It doesn't need to be a high heat. But it needs to be a lot more. We need more butter for sure. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I like that flavor as well from brown butter, but we don't want to have that in there now. Butter into there and get that going. And then we're just going to start adding everything in there. There's a lot of oil in here. Hopefully this doesn't screw up. Throw that on there. We still have the shaved parm we can put on there if we want at the very end. And I'll get that out. Start melting that down. There we go. A little more butter. Take that. There we go. There we go. Ooh. There we go. That's going. I might just add a splash of cream to this. There we go. Let's start adding our noodles into this. We don't want the noodles to get overly done. We'll start putting that into there. We don't want to drain the noodles, we just want those in there. We want those in. We will add a little bit of cream to this. There we go. And just starts, just gotta mix. Just gotta mix. Let's add just a little bit of cream to it. And just mix and mix and mix. We'll add a little bit of Italian seasoning to this for the aesthetic. And just keep mixing, mixing, mixing. A little flavor. There we go. And you just gotta mix and mix and mix. Now we're gonna add here all the other stuff. And mix and mix and mix. And heat that stuff back up. And we're gonna add just a little more Parmesan cheese to this. I thought that would be plenty, but sometimes thinking is where I go wrong. We're gonna open up that other cheese into here. Let's get that going there. That sauce is starting to go. That's what we're looking for. Starting to look for that sauce. And we're gonna thicken it up with just a little bit more cheese. Plus I want to open the shredded pasta, the other Parmesan. Keep stirring, stir and stir and stir. There we go. And a little bit more of the Parmesan. And once that's melted, we are going to be done. Oh man, look at that. Is that looking good or what? Get you guys right on top of that. There we go. There we go. Yeah. How nice and creamy that is. Man, I will take that all day long. I will take that all day long. There we go. And we have really, really nice beef mushroom Alfredo with some breadsticks. And we're gonna bring you guys back over here for the plate up and for the taste test. If I can not knock everything over in the process as we do everything, and I'll plug the light back in, and we are ready to go. There we go. All right, cool. So we've got our breadsticks, we've got our plate, we've got our butter that we don't need anymore. The only thing we need now is the dish. Let's go. So let's plate this up. Oh man, look at that. Make sure we get a lot of that beef. The mushrooms. Man, that looks, oh, look at that pull. You guys see the cheese pull? There we go. And a couple more of those mushrooms smell great. There we go. And that, there we go. And a couple of breadsticks down from the bottom. There we go. Ooh, that one looks really nice. I like that one. And we'll go just a little bit of parsley on there. Let's see if we can't get you guys a better look. There we go. That looks a lot better. I'm gonna throw a little parsley on it just to say we did. That looks good. And let's try it out. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at with it. Let's give that steak a try. Wow, that's really good. Let's get one of those mushrooms and roll up some pasta in there. That's really, really good. It's got a nice savory flavor to it. Add a little more cheese to this, to the top. We have that in there. Yeah, I like that. That's really, really good. Because this is about the part where they'd come around with the little cheese grinder thing and go, "Sir, could you would you like more? Would you like some Parmesan cheese on that?" And I'd be like, "Absolutely." And you can refill my wine glass while you're standing there doing nothing. But let's try out the breadsticks, and they're still warm. You see the inside of that? Not bad. Not bad. For the first time trying the Olive Garden recipe, kind of the copycat from the internet, I would probably go with milk instead of water to make it. Some cheese on there. Yeah, and some more chicken for the beagle. That is not bad. Let's try some more of the steak. Man, yeah, that's good. Not bad at all. And speaking of the beegs, look who showed up. Yeah, that's good. That is good. I would take that. I'm a big fan of milk rather than water to make bread. Me too. Yeah, I basically have I have the endless possible. Biggs, what do you think? You want to try out a breadstick? Oh yeah, I think you're ready for a breadstick. Let's check it out. Let's see if you're ready for a breadstick. Come over here. Oh, you've been so good while we've been doing this. Get you over onto your thing. Here, you want to get on the mat? Back up. Back up so you can do a spin. Oh, there you go. Have some breadstick. Oh yeah. Loving the breadstick. Who doesn't? Yeah. Yeah. She's a big fan. She's so far she's saying good on the breadsticks as well. So as long as she approves of the breadsticks, the breadsticks are really good. Can you sit? No. Give me one more spin. Give me another spin. Can you give me another spin? There you go. Nice. She's been working on her catching. She's doing really good. She knows the difference. Her marrow treats are kind of hard, so she doesn't like to catch those. But she doesn't, when she figures out that it's something soft, she doesn't. Can you sit? And give me a nice speak. Can you speak? Speak. There you go. Yeah, when she figures out that it's soft, she's all about it. But anyway, we're going to jump off here. Thanks to everybody so much for showing up. Thanks to Greg Hart and to Rick Stumbaugh for moderating this madness. I really appreciate it. Go out and pick yourself up some cast iron cure. It's available on eBay if you would like to season your cast iron and you don't want to have a smoky house. Sit. Want another one? There you go. I'm going to keep it real. Radagast, Fuzz, Ronald Coward, everybody that showed up. GG, thanks for showing up. Hope you came back. Hope you hit subscribe. If you have not hit subscribe, please hit subscribe. We are trying to get to that next level. So bad. So close. So close. We're not that many subscribers away from the next one. Next big number. So if you like what you see here today, please hit it and smash that like button on your way out. We got up there today with 55 likes, which is not too bad. Natalia's Fitness, good morning. How are you? Just in time to say goodbye. You have the best timing ever. And since you're here, I will reveal my weight loss of 23 pounds since January 2nd. I've lost 23 pounds since January 2nd. The Beagle has gained 2 pounds since January 2nd. So, Mexi Honey, how are you? Good to see you. Everybody's jumping in. Oh no, you're leaving. Well, we can hang out for a second and we can have some more pasta. We made beef Alfredo with mushrooms and Olive Garden breadsticks. So you can check that out. Hey, I'm a fan. Bloody-tastic. Yeah, but this is what we made today. We made beef Alfredo, homemade, with homemade breadsticks. I used a copycat Olive Garden recipe, and it is really good. And I did start drinking a little early in the day, which is pretty rad for a Sunday. Bring it in over just a little closer over top of that. But yeah, everything came out really well. I'm really happy with it. Natalia, double tap. Double tap the screen. She gets the joke. So one thing, those are really good. The breadsticks came out nice. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thanks, Rick. Like I said, thank you guys. Mexa Honey and Natalia, thank you guys for stopping in. Give me this toward the end. There'll be a short video with a reveal and all that kind of stuff, as per usual. You did a triple tap. There you go. Very nice. Well, you New Zealanders, you guys take things next level. So I appreciate that. But anyway, I'm gonna jump off here. I'm gonna finish my lunch. I'm gonna get this cleaned up. I got a lot of stuff to do. I gotta head to the shop today to make cast iron cure. I gotta walk this Beagle and all that. So thanks everybody for stopping in. Really appreciate it. And we will see you next Sunday. Watch for this week. We do have a lot of content coming out. Some good short videos coming out this week. So keep your eye out, hit your notifications on and all that stuff. And as always, see ya!